And welcome to your new client portal overview. So this is what your clients are going to see. Now, when you first set them up as clients in the system, you're going to turn on their portal access. You're going to give them a username and a password, which is an automated email that will go out. And within there, they're going to click a link to log in. Now, the first time they do this, it's going to present them with your contract agreement that needs to be signed. They can't get in here or past it until they've actually agreed to your terms and signed the document. Now that signature is going to be used later on. It's going to be saved for when you do go to printing letters. You can include that signature as part of it. And they're able to actually sign it if they're on a desktop like we are now. They'll be able to just use their mouse to sign the agreement. But if they're on tablet or mobile, they'll be able to use their finger to sign it. All right. Now, this portal is completely branded. Of course, you can see the example Acme Credit logo at the top. That will be, of course, your logo. And one of the cool things about this is that it is 100% mobile friendly. So basically, as far as your customer is concerned, they're going to pull this up on their phone. It's going to look almost like an app, right? It's been really well done. Everything is very clear and easy to see. And they can upload documents, by taking a photo, right? So instead of them having to get access to a scanner for any of the documentation that comes back by mail, they can just whip out their cell phone, take a picture of it, and upload it straight into the platform using that method. So it's kind of a cool time-saving thing as well. Now what you're looking at here is just the home page. So of course we've got the latest scores. Obviously won't really be anything in the very beginning, but as soon as you do that first pull, this will populate. And it'll identify all the positive, negative, so that your client can get a full view of kind of what you're doing for them. There's going to be some latest messages here. So if you send a message from the system to your customer's portal, it'll show up here. And they'll also get an email reminder, hey, you got a new message, click here to check it out. And they'll come back here into the portal. Billing information, it'll show them any of the invoices that they've paid or any that might be due. And over here on the right, there's some required steps. Right, so this will come into play a little bit more with the required steps tab, but just a basic overview, just the standard required documents that they need to get through, so they'll be able to see which ones they're still missing. All right, on the required steps page, so this is actually where they're going to land after they sign that agreement. Because the next step we need them is to supply that documentation, right? So step one here, it's on 2 lines right here because this is our demo account, but it's not supposed to be. And basically, you'll upload your agreement in your software. That's a standard thing for everybody to sign. All right, so it's the only one that requires a signature. There is actually a second option to upload a second agreement if your company has that for some reason that requires a signature as well. Now, of course, you can upload any documents you want, normal ones, but if it requires a signature, we've actually given you the ability to upload a second one and make that required as well. As these things get done, there'll be a big check mark saying, hey, it's done. Pretty easy for your client to understand. Proof of address, W-2, credit monitoring logging, and order credit report. So once they're done with all of these steps, it's actually going to trigger an email to the agent that says, hey, John Doe has finished all of his documentation and the agreement signed and all of his identification docs are uploaded. Now you're good to go ahead and start doing the round 1. Okay, so it kind of tracks all this stuff for you. There's also DisputeFox automations that take over whenever you add a new client. So not only is it going to onboard your client for you, which you can edit if you like, all the steps that they need to take, but it also includes some educational pieces. And during the process, when you've submitted round 1, there's going to be that 30 to 45-day interval where nothing really much happens. And during that time, there's automations in place that just drip little education pieces to your customer and little reminders to go check out their mailbox, if they've got anything and how to upload it again. So it's really kind of an all-in-one turnkey platform, but you can completely customize that entire onboarding process. You can, instead of having 10 emails during round 1, you could have 50 if you decided to, right? You would just have to come up with the content. So as mentioned before, we can custom design some of those workflows for you if you have your own content. Just get with us and we'll get you a quote on what you might have there. All right, moving on here, we got the credit status, a little bit of animation, which is always cool for your customer. This is just a little more detail on the items that you're working on, the score history, so they can track how well they're doing, and when to expect the next update. All right, messages, if they want to send you a message back and forth, they can do that. You kind of previewed that on the software side already. On the Documents tab here, this is where they can upload anything that's not part of the required steps. So if they did get some stuff in the mail, right, they just hit Choose File, upload it, what kind of document it is, and any notes they want to send to you as well. It will show a complete history here, so your customer can always go back in and see what they submitted to you. And of course, when this gets submitted, the assigned agent to this customer will get an email notification and an alert inside the system that there's a new document to be reviewed. The Resources tab, this is something, it depends how you have your business set up. Some people like to put in, those credit card offers, those kind of things can go here. I mean, it's pretty open. You can post some articles, some FAQs, things like that. It's sort of a one flexible area that you can put some stuff in, and it can be customized. All right, on the customer's account, it's got all their information, current address, previous address, and it will store any of the credit monitoring login information that they happen to have entered. And of course, their login and password if they did want to change that. All right, on the billing side, so depending on how you have your billing set up, in this case here, it's a pay per delete model, one-off, so it's going to show the cost per delete, but it'll give you your entire history of all the billing that's taken place, as well as the current billing method that's on file. If they ever wanted to update their card, they can do that right here, hit save, and then your billing automations can take over. All right, so that's the majority of the portal. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot to mention. But I think we're okay. So effectively, this is your customer-facing brand. Okay, so everything that you do with DisputeFox is going to have your logo on it. The only time you're ever going to see our logo is when we're sending you system notifications, which of course your customer doesn't see. And most of the time, I would assume these customers are now going to be using their phones. So the fact that it's 100% mobile friendly will definitely work in your favor.